Neither do I, dude.
I tell my kid all the time. Sheesh.
How do I
Use a computer.
Well, yeah, there is that too.
Oh, how do you host?
On Twitch.
Oh, you gotta go to, where is it? You gotta go to your dashboard.
Okay.
In under the live. Oh, well, the first thing you see you have your 3 columns.
Yeah.
Your middle column should like have something at the bottom that says raid and host.
New. Stream information, stream health.
Should be a raid and host option somewhere on that page.
Okay. It's all the way on the right for me.
Oh, there you go.
I think it's because my main monitor is like double the resolution of my secondary monitor.
Right.
There we go.
Light here. That just makes me look red. Okay.
Will that automatically host every time you go we go live?
It should. Yeah. You should see it already.
Oh yeah, that stuff has started. Boop, boop. Muted. Good. Close you. Close you. Good. Oh boy.
Apologies to everyone for our late start. We just got done recording a very lengthy predictions episode.
Yeah. Oh boy.
My voice is bad now. I have, what, 5 games to talk about this week? I have a lot to talk about, 3 of them.
I have 11 games to talk about this week. And and I have a lot to talk about, 3 of them.
So maybe no news stories.
I'll fly through a lot of mine because a
lot of them are just tiny ones.
Yeah, quick nods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, Mina.
Thanks, Mina.
Oh, I didn't even put up pre-show.
In my defense, I did do the 24-hour stream this week.
That's right.
So that's where a lot of my game playing time went, was the fact that I was awake for 24 straight hours doing it.
Oh my goodness, excuse me.
No, because now I'm going to fucking you on you, asshole.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm just so tired after that whole episode.
I hate you so much.
Okay, are you ready to kick this thing off?
Yes, as ready as I'll ever be.
Alright, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Vampyr.
Hello.
Apologies if my voice is a little bit crispy today. We just got done recording the predictions episode coming out at the end of the month, and it was crazy long. So,
yep.
you know, we haven't even started this episode yet, and we recorded 2 other shows. So,
yes.
Hooray for us wanting to do more stuff. But.
Yep, and we'll also have the break coming up soon, though. So that's the bright side, as we get 2 weeks for our voices to recover.
Actually, speaking of that, we are taking a break from doing Game Club this month. The Game Club game is Iconoclasts, and all 3 of us have not started it yet because December is crazy busy. So
yeah, I think it's a case of we try and do as much as we can. We have work life, we have family life, we have things like that, but then at the same time we have Game of the Year predictions, spoiler casts to do, and because I think mostly as well because of the timing of the weeks this year, it really did not work out well for us, so unfortunately.
In future Decembers, we'll probably also take those off too, just to give ourselves a break. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Iconoclasts in the third weekend of January. We will be taking a well-deserved break and giving us a little bit extra time. So, with all that new stuff out of the way, Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
Okay, so I mentioned it in pre-show. I did my 24-hour charity stream this week. So I got a whole bunch of games to talk about, and I'll probably breeze through a fair bit of them.
Okay.
I started and finished the stream with Into the Breach.
Ah.
being the one PC game I could run on my PC at the time due to unforeseen issues.
Some graphics card issues, yeah.
Yeah, some dual monitor setup / graphics card concerns. So I ended up basically only being able to run Into the Breach. But I beat Into the Breach.
Hey, congrats.
And the game has it's really interesting ending because it's basically just like a failed run where it just sends you back on a reset.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, start a new game. And the when I beat it, I decided to unlock the roguelike squad.
Okay.
Where basically every time they make an attack, they all hurt themselves.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah, that's
interesting.
Smart decision on my part, shall we say?
Yeah.
To, you know,
I'm assuming that's the hardest team.
It's the very bottom right team on a list. So,
okay, so
probably yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, what more can we say about Into the Breach? We've said a lot. Just random updates as we go. For the record, I didn't actually hit my goal on the stream, but I did raise $72 in total for charity.
Congratulations.
Which I don't have a following. I don't ever stream, so I am proud to have hit that amount.
Yeah.
And you know what? I minus the meltdown at like 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever it is over the PC. I had a good time. I had fun. And during it, I actually had a bonus of if you donate $25, you can make me play what you want that I have.
Oh, nice.
So, friend of the show, Mackie, donated $25 and sent me back to Willamette Mall for the OG Dead Rising.
Oh man, so good.
And number one, I forgot how old that game is because let me tell you, the controls are really out of date at this point.
Oh yeah. But
I kind of have that bug now because I went in and I checked. I have 3. I played the original Xbox 360 release. I have 3 achievements left to get.
Okay.
And on top of that, I also kind of want to play the remastered version.
Yeah. I don't know how much they did to the remaster. I've never really heard.
Neither do I, but playing the original one has kind of given me that itch again.
Right. Can you say you were bitten? Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response.
As soon as I had a kid, the dad jokes just come naturally.
Dude, they came naturally before you even had a kid.
Fair.
You can admit that just like I can. I have no children, and I still love the dad jokes.
Joking it up.
But yeah, Dead Rising 1 is amazing. Still, it's dated a lot now. Yeah. But it's still fun to actually play, and that's something that to be honest, I'm probably going to jump back in just so I can get those 3 achievements.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the hardest 1,000 gamer scores you can get, and I feel like I'm missing out by not having those 3 because it's a game I love. It's a game I've put so many hours into, and I should be able to get them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
So, Boston.
Yes, sir.
You disappointed me in my hour of need.
Oh no, was that like the one time I wasn't on the stream?
Yes, I started playing Hollow Knight and I could not for the life of me find the way I was supposed to go next. But you're very, very lucky.
Okay.
Because I played it twice. And at the start, I spent about an hour just wandering around trying to figure out where the hell I was supposed to go to next.
Picking up some Geo.
And I was calling the chat out and saying, hey, chat, do me a favor. Text Boston, tweet Boston, do something, get Boston in here now.
Probably asleep.
Yeah, more than likely you were. That's fine. And I ended up giving up on it because it was frustrating me.
Yeah.
And then I played it towards the end of the stream. And luckily, a good friend of mine from the UK, known him since college, Stian, his wife, Liddy, joined into the stream. And apparently she's as obsessed with Hollow Knight as you are.
Yeah.
And then she told me which direction I should go.
Oh, perfect.
So I finally made some progression.
Oh, good.
I got some bad news for you.
Oh, no.
I am not sure how I feel about Hollow Knight.
Yeah, it's a divisive game for understanding reasons.
There is so much I love. Like, I love the combat.
Yeah.
I love the world. I love the lore. Like, I love the whole setup of the game. I don't even mind the fact that you die and have to do a corpse run, despite the fact that I just lost 1200 geo because of that exact thing. That's fine. I can deal with that. What I can't deal with is the insufferable map.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out which place to go to next.
Yeah.
It's going to take away from the game, for me personally.
Sure.
I think if they didn't have that issue, like if they just had a nice, clear, concise, here's the new area, here's the map,
right,
this would very easily be on my Game of the Year list.
Or if it did like a Castlevania thing where it's like it's just filling in as you're going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But there are so many little things about it. Like the fact that to draw the map in, you need to buy something first, it feels more punishing than it needs to be.
Right.
I haven't even unlocked half the combat stuff, but I still do like the combat on it. I know there's a lot of stuff I still need to unlock, and I know you love the combat a lot.
I do, yeah.
So that's a really big positive for me, but honestly, I'm torn on this game because I think in the total playtime I've played of the game, at least 2 to 3 hours of that have so far, and I'm still at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
At least 2 to 3 hours has been me just wandering around trying to figure out where I go to next.
Right.
Which, in a Castlevania or a Metroidvania, we've seen this before, where generally speaking, it's the area you haven't been to yet.
Right.
Where I think the problem Hollow Knight has is it immediately drops you into the city, and underneath that is a hub world that you can go 5 different directions from.
Sure, yeah.
And then to get to the next area, it's a direction again after that. I think that's where the issue for me is. It's not like Castlevania is relatively simple. It's you're here, you do a loop around and get skills as you go.
Right. Well, and I think one of Hollow Knight's big problems is I feel like it almost expects you to use pins on the map more than maybe we're trained to. Like, I love doing it. I find something, I put a pin on it, I go, okay, there's something there. I'll try and keep a mental map of it, but I think at this point, you probably just grab a walkthrough at the very least to say, like, you finished this area, go, follow this path and you go to the next area. And once you get stuck there, follow this, go to this next area.
Yeah, and I probably will end up doing that. I mean, this is the biggest to do on my Game of the Year list.
Right.
This is the one that I feel like deserves a completion at least before talking about it on the actual Game of the Year episode.
Right.
So there's probably going to be a lot of Hollow Knight.
Just a shame that it's a big game.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's literally something Liddy said to me when she jumped in and she saw how far I was.
Yeah.
Her response was, "By the way, the map is huge." It's like, yep, I've been told. Yeah. Thanks. Great.
Yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying the rest of it though, because I feel like you're right. The discovery is not always Hollow Knight's strong point. Like the lore and the graphics and the music and the combat and the movement, all that stuff is really great.
Yep.
There's just sometimes where you get a new skill and you're like, cool.
What do I do with it?
Do where? Like again, or like you run into something that blocks your path really early on in the game and you're like, cool, I'll get that soon, right? And it's like, no, you got like 20 more hours until you get that. It's like, okay, fine, okay.
I mean, the big issue for me is like that so far I've got at least 4 or 5 different types of obstacles that I know I need abilities to get. Like I know I need a double jump to get to this specific area over here. I need a ground pound or something to get through this floor over here.
Yep.
I need an extended dash to get to this other area over here.
Right.
But then the problem I'm running into is I've only got 2 different pins. Like I've got a red pin and a blue pin.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
yeah. Like,
you can buy more at the shop. I think you buy up to 6.
I think so, but I don't think I've unlocked any of the additional colors yet. Like every time I go back to the city, I check, and I've got like 2 colors there, and I've bought the 2 of them.
Weird. Why would that be? That's weird. Interesting. Okay.
But no, I mean, like I said, there's so much about the game I genuinely adore, and Tim Burton's A Bug's Life just perfectly sums this thing up for me because it has that art style, and I absolutely adore it.
Yeah.
Very frustrating at times, and luckily I'm talking to one of the people who I can say that about a game you love, and you can be like, okay, yeah, I can see it.
It totally is. I mean, it to me is, it in so much of the rest of the game, it tries to emulate the Dark Souls and Bloodborne series, and succeeds. But I think where it often reaches and doesn't quite get there is with map discovery. Like in a lot of the Demon Souls and Bloodborne stuff, you have either distinct areas that you can visually see where you're going to go, or you have very discrete levels where, like, you know, like Demon Souls, this is 1-1, 1-2, 1-3. They're different levels. You know what you need to do in this, and there's only so much you can do. But Hollow Knight, I think they try and do that, but it's at odds with encouraging natural discovery and them not caring if you miss stuff. I think both of those are good, but they didn't nail it down 100%.
Yeah. It's hard to talk about right now because there's still so much left in the game to see, and I know there is.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I can get it finished for next week. We'll see. Well, I'm expecting a very, very long week this week, so that should be interesting.
Well, text me if you're running into problems.
Yes, I will do. Off the stream, I actually played Strange Brigade. Came to Game Pass. How did you feel about the Lara Croft games? Not the Tomb Raider games, but the Lara Croft.
I love
games.
those. The like Temple of Light and that. Yeah, those were great.
How would you feel about those in a third-person shoot 'em up kind of control scheme?
Interesting.
Well, let me tell you about Strange Brigade.
Yeah.
Which is basically, my wife actually sums it up perfectly. She described it as the Lara Croft game is about third person, and that's pretty much spot on.
Interesting.
It's enemies come at you, you shoot them, you get gold, you use that gold to buy increased weapons, you get gems to improve the effectiveness of the weapons you have, you can slot them in and increase them.
Right.
There is puzzles all around the world, there's little secret rooms to find, you gathering relics and things like that. It's basically those games except third person, and 4 different character classes, 4 different special skills, a whole bunch of different types of puzzles that you run into, some challenges sprinkled throughout each level, and it's done in the style of a 1940s British like action film with like the it's got the World War kind of reporting where it's like, what will the Strange Brigade do today on their way to the
front lines?
Yes, it's got that exact presentation to it. You can change the chattiness level of everybody, which is great.
Really nice.
It's you know what? It's actually a really good game. Like, put a couple of hours into it this week with my wife. Looking forward to playing some more of it, but it's a very, very repeatable game, it feels like, where it's just about going into the levels, solving some puzzles, getting some relics, shooting some cat statues and some
bunch of Egyptian things.
Yeah, what are those jars called? Like the
canopic jars?
That's the one.
Yeah.
There's 4 of them on every level.
Oh, nice.
And
oh man, that's trouble
if
for me.
Yep, if you shoot all 4 of them on every level, it's actually an achievement / trophy.
Oh no.
And because I can't help it, and I love that when games do this, the achievement for the trophy description or the trophy name for that is "When is a door not a door?" ...
That's good. Is this on Game Pass? Did I read that?
Yes.
Okay.
It's on Game. It came out on Game Pass this Tuesday.
Just fire up my old Game Pass app on my phone here.
I have the same thing.
Snag this right now. They got the green screen.
Yep. Yeah. So it's
Strange
really
Brigade.
Fun. Yes, Strange Brigade.
Yeah.
It's a 4-player co-op game as well.
Oh, even
just
better.
to make it more fun. And you can
actually, I have a lot of stuff to download. So, looking here, I have a lot of stuff to download on Game Pass here. Strange Brigade, The Gardens Between, and Ashen.
Mm-hmm. All of those, I think all 3 came out this Tuesday.
Strange Brigade is 34 gigs.
Yes, it is.
Good God.
I do believe it is enhanced for the X.
Yeah.
But it's dumb fun. And you know what? It's dumb fun in a really positive way. Like, it's that very much switch your brain off. You've got a health potion. It does the Left 4 Dead thing of when you die, you can get resurrected by your teammates.
Nice.
when you die, you get put into a sarcophagus.
Perfect. That's all I need.
It's done fun, and so far that's exactly, you know, we played a couple of levels, we had a good time. I'm gonna go back and slowly but surely play more of them. Presentation is great. The narrator can be slightly annoying because he says the obvious stuff all the time.
Oh, right. You should
but
probably shoot that mummy.
Yes, in a very charming way.
Right.
And you know what? If you've got Game Pass, it's worth a download. It's worth a play. Just see how it treats you. So, Strange Brigade. That's Strange Brigade for Xbox Game Pass. I have been playing. I tried to end the stream I did in a blossom of victory and explosions. I failed, unfortunately, because I died.
Okay.
But I played Res HD.
Ah, yes.
Guess what? Res is still a killer game.
Yep.
100% an incredible game.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm. I think I did myself a disservice because I was playing through it on like the story mode or whatever it is. Res is one of those games where the better you do, the harder it gets.
Yes. Yep.
And I pretty much cleared out the first 3 stages without blinking, and then stage 4 caused me a problem. And then I got to like the second to last boss on the end of the stage 5 and died. But I don't mind. I got to listen to Fear is the Mind Killer, start to end, and I'm happy.
Oh, it's so good.
It's really, really good. I started Batman's TellTale game.
Oh, yeah.
Season 1, it's worth saying. So last year's season.
Right.
I can't remember who pointed out in chat. It was one of the community members. Who was it? I can't remember. Quite rightly pointed out Archer Wayne, or however you want to, Bruce Sterling.
Yes.
Because he looks like him. He kind of sounds like him.
The cell shading is really what sort of puts it over the edge.
Yep. And it's 100% now I can't not see that is a problem.
Yeah.
But they've done a really good job with the story so far.
How far did you make it?
Up to chapter 3 now, I believe. I think I just finished chapter 3. That smile tells me that things are about to get really weird.
Chapter 3's ending is very memorable.
I think I did. Chapter 3 is Arkham.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. I literally just did that.
Okay.
So the scene outside of Wayne Enterprises was the last thing I did.
Yep. That's real good. It's one of those telltale things where it's like, that went nope, everything just went wrong in like 2 seconds.
Yep. I was very very obedient of the rules during that particular scene.
Right.
So that should hopefully give me some leeway to say, yo, I was drugged, but basically it seems like the only person who cares about me at this moment is Alfred and Selina. So
right. I'm so happy you're playing this. I really loved... I don't know which season I liked better. I really loved both of them. Shockingly.
Yeah. We have both. I've just been sitting on it for so long, and my wife is currently in the process of getting 70% so she can, not as I stated last week, get rid of hard drive space, more so she can buy more stuff without feeling guilty.
Sure. Yeah, get rid of stuff to put more stuff in there. Yeah.
Yeah, because I cannot justify buying another game right now because I have 60 gigabytes free and 280 something games installed.
Right. That's not the good ratio.
I've got no justification to buy new stuff.
Right.
So she's doing the wipeout thing, and I kind of need to get some hard drive space clear. So I'm just going through a bunch of stuff trying to get rid of it, and that I think it was a good choice because it's allowed me to just take a break from playing the Game of the Year Rush games and just jump in and play something.
Man, those games are good.
It's done really well so far.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely despise Harvey Dent.
They made him just so slimy.
Yeah, I have been referring to myself as a Harvey D-bag instead.
Yeah.
Because it kind of... He makes me think of one of those preppy, rich school kids.
Yeah.
Without the rich part.
Right.
So, like, maybe someone who got there on, like, intellectual merits and then immediately downgraded themselves into one of those preppy kids, but just a sniveling suck up. It's just
he's just always sneering. Like what I liked so much about those games, and I think you've run into it a bunch, is that I'm not the world's biggest Batman historian or anything. I've read some comics over the years, but I'm not Susanna Polo or anything. I really like that they just twisted everybody in those games a little bit. Like, his parents aren't. What happens if they're not the good guys? What happens if Harvey Dent isn't this charming, charismatic guy that just was in the wrong place at the wrong time?
Yeah. If he's not the White Knight, but instead just kind of the usual person you expect for that.
Right. And what if Joker isn't the dude you thought he is?
Doesn't he come up in season 2? I think
he should show up in season 1 at some part. I think you might meet him in Arkham. That's not a spoiler, but
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's so not a spoiler because they call him John Doe in the game because nobody knows who he is. You look at him and you're like, oh, that's Joker.
Well, that's also what he was in the comics.
Yeah.
He was John Doe in the comics before.
But he has the face paint and the smile and the hair and sort of that's Joker. Does anyone not know this is Joker? Nobody watched the movies?
Well, it's I was surprised when Harvey wasn't Two-Face already. It was a very clear thing. And the first time you see Catwoman as well, it's okay, so this is a Batman who has only bumped into regular criminals, and his world is about to get completely warped by whatever's going on here.
Yeah, especially at the intro, he bumps into Catwoman for the first time. It's sort of that's a good point. I guess I never realized that it's very much oh, I'm just dealing with thugs. I punch once and they basically explode.
He's taking down mobsters and thugs, and then all of a sudden you've got Catwoman, who is essentially a super criminal / hero / thief.
Yeah.
And then from there, he's very quickly introduced to Penguin, who I adore the mask.
Yes. Yep. That's a really good take on it.
Really good take, really good redesign, and I like the fact that his father's statue in the park is the old Penguin.
Yes. I thought that was a really good, wink.
Yeah, really good little nod there.
Yep.
And I love the fact that Cobblepot is responsible for, I don't know if he's got a name, but the big green dude who's obviously super powered. And it's okay, now.
Yeah.
Now Batman's dealing with things that are beyond the mobsters and the thugs.
Right. I forgot how many villains are in that first season.
Oh, they're throwing them left, right, and center, and I just learned the truth about who the Lady Arkham is, so that's fun too.
Yep. Didn't wait until season 2 where they double the villain count and somehow make it work.
Is it like Arkham Asylum, the first Batman open world game where it's just here is everybody?
Yeah, they don't go into Calendar Man territory, but they go they put a lot of them in there.
Yeah, but no, again, color me surprised by a TellTale game being truly incredible.
Yeah.
In a different way than I'd expect.
Yeah.
I still don't think they're ever going to beat Walking Dead Season 1. Wolf Among Us Season 1 is... Wolf is probably one of my favorite TellTale games.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite... that style of game is Wolf Season 1.
Right.
It's so good. And I'm very interested to see where these 5 episodes end, and then where the next 5 episodes go, because I've waited so long now, I can literally just go from one to the next, and I don't have to wait.
Yeah, and most of them are fairly short. There's even a couple episodes in there where you play them, and it's an hour and a half, and you're like, I mean, that's pretty... I appreciate it, but it's pretty short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, enough of Batman. I'll get back to that eventually. Part of the stream, again, Meltdown, couldn't play PlayStation, couldn't play PC, could only play Xbox, so why not load up possibly one of the games of last generation? Possibly.
Okay.
Sleepy Dogs.
Ah, Sleepy Dogs.
Sleepy Dogs is so good.
How does it hold up, do you feel?
I have the remastered edition for the Xbox One, so that's the one I loaded up firstly. Well, it's the one I loaded up, period, having never started it before. It holds up surprisingly well. You could tell it's aged in some aspects, But you know what? You can still shove a dude's head into an air conditioning fan.
Yeah. You can still, like, bump cars with your car somehow.
Yep, you can still do the ram skill. Like, I don't care if it breaks realism. That needs to be in every open world game.
Yeah.
Like, it's
does. Too much fun.
I kind of broke Almighty Tooth because it was like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. I was playing it. I kind of was losing my mind a little bit. I threw somebody into a phone booth and said, "Bill and Ted say hello." It just came out of my mouth, and then immediately I got a response from Tooth in chat saying, "Okay, that broke me." So I'm really, really glad that I actually got something like that out. Well, yeah, it's so good. Like, again, it's one of those things like we've talked about before. Like, I think we mentioned the Microsoft having so many studios thing. Have different studios help with things. Yeah. Because these guys had the Arkham Asylum people help them with the combat. Right. They had, I think, Starbreeze or somebody helping them with like the development of the open world. I think so. They had the Burnout people helping them with the driving. Like, they were taking 3 or 4 people from these teams who make top class games in that style and bringing them in to help them on like these little sections. Yeah. And it shows because I still think that game is good. I'm not kidding when I say that has the potential to be a contender for the game of the generation for last generation.
I would agree. I think it's just an outstanding game.
I mean, it rose from the ashes of the True Crime series. It has no right to exist in any format. And it comes out and it's an amazing game. It's got a great soundtrack. It's got great visuals. It's got a whole bunch of rain. If you want to play on the PC, you get all those beautiful reflections and stuff as well. The game is amazing. Yeah. Oh, Sleepy Dogs is so good. I played some more of the Division Survival Mode. I still suck at the Division Survival Mode. Probably shouldn't be playing it on sleep deprivation is what I'm learning.
Oh, yeah, no.
So, yeah. I'll probably get back to that at some point. Classic throwback time. To end out the stream, I did play Rez. Before I played Rez, I wanted another classic throwback, and I played The Binding of Isaac.
Hey.
I am 2 items short. Stupid blue candle and stupid angel guy does the spinny thing around you.
Seraphim, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Two items left, and that game is done.
1 common item, 1 super rare item.
And it gets even better because I thought, well, I'll do a couple of runs of Isaac. You know, kill the amount of time it'll take me to get to the 90 minutes to play Rez. Right. I played 1 run of Isaac, and it was a killer run. Awesome. Like, jump in, load the game up, do a run, do a random. Ended up with Kane. I think it was Kane. Did a run. Overpower as all kinds of goodness. It was great. The archive should be up on the various streaming sites, and I do have local recordings of them all, so I'll try and upload them to YouTube at some point. Right. And then I can annotate what games I'm playing at what time. But that's such a good run. It felt so good to jump back in after so long not playing it.
And just like muscle the game.
Yeah. It was so good. Let's see, what else? I'm doing these in a weird order because I want to leave one specifically till last. Okay. Subnautica.
Actually, play a bunch of this.
Subnautica I'll talk about last. I want to talk about Vampyr first.
Okay.
So, I completed the Vampyr main storyline.
Hey, nice.
I did not do a nom on a single person.
Right.
At no point did I do a little slurp.
Right.
At no point did I... No slurps for me. I will be slurping my next playthrough when I can put it down to the easy difficulty and just slurp on through. That game goes some places. And I kind of want you to finish this. I know you mentioned on Twitter that you probably won't be finishing this year.
No. It's on my short list for early 2019.
It goes deep into some English lore. Like,
okay.
It starts talking about, however you say her name, Boudica or Boudica, depending on how you say it, who was the last queen of England before it was conquered by the Romans.
Okay.
Like, it starts talking about historical figures and the different types of vampirism.
Starts pulling some Assassin's Creed business.
To be honest, that's about as close as a comparison as you can get.
Yeah.
Because it starts talking about the infected angry blood and how there is like you can be infected with the angry blood and the angry blood causes problems, and yeah, the Red King and Queen get brought up, and it's not real life people, it's fictional things. This game goes some places.
Yeah, I need to finish it.
It's absolutely crazy, the things they all tie together. I'll be honest, at the end, I ended up just powering through the finish of the game because I just wanted to finish the game in time for Game of the Year. And I was shocked at the references that they started dropping, and then the ending that you can get. And I'm going to spoil one thing for you here.
Okay.
They do like, you know, at the start you get that like really cool art style intro, like where it's like the graphic novel kind of style. They do that as the outro.
Ooh.
One of the things they have is a picture of the main guy. Why can't I never remember his name? Dr. Reed, Dr. something Reed.
Jonathan Reed.
There we go. Thank you. They have an outline of him with white, like a white moonlit sky in front of him, and the Statue of Liberty.
That's so good.
Now I want a Vampyr 2.
Yeah.
Set in New York. Yes,
Coming
please.
to America.
Yes, please. 100%. Because the things they say and the places they go is unbelievably good.
Slurping from coast to coast.
Yes. It's... Honestly, I can't wait for you to finish it.
Yeah.
I genuinely can't, because there are things that it goes into, like, that build the lore as a whole. That, like you said, it's very Assassin's Creed.
Right.
And it's the type of thing I love, and it's the type of thing you love, so I'm really curious to see where that goes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we'll leave it, my last game, with Subnautica. Roger, you said you watched me play a little bit of this on the stream.
Yep. The Subnautica : The Search for Salt.
Is that what it is?
Moon was like, I'm still looking for salt. No one has salt over here. Where's the salt?
Yeah, at one point I literally started referring to it as my wife, because my wife has a thing for salt. Both the real life thing and being very salty. So, I forgot all about that. Thank you for bringing that nightmare back to me.
You're welcome.
But yeah, Subnautica, it's unfortunately, firstly, it's a survival game.
Yeah.
First downside, single player.
Okay.
I understand it's limited resources kind of survival game. I love me some co-op survival. Don't Starve Together, 7 Days to Die, co-op survival games. The Division. Like, these type of games are my jam, because you can play with other people and double the workload and kind of make it feel a little less grindy.
Misery loves company too when things are going really poorly.
Yes. For example, it would have been really nice if somebody else would have been able to find me some salt, because I needed salt. And for the record, it was salt so I could make water so I could drink, just so everybody's aware of what's going on.
Yeah, because it's like a first-person underwater survival thing, right?
Yep, it's the 7 Days to Die, the Solus project, which is based on a survival game based on Mars. It's that kind of find resources, make things,
try and escape.
Try and escape, try and survive.
Yeah.
Firstly, the game is beautiful. Secondly, I'm terrified of things underwater. Why did I buy this game?
Great question.
I have a weird obsession with the deep sea. Of all the Earth TV shows that the BBC have done with David Attenborough, the Blue Earth is my favorite, which is the one all about water.
Right.
Because water terrifies me.
Right. You're drawn like a moth to a flame.
Yes, like a moth to a flame, like a whale to water. It's horrifically terrifying when you start going deep.
Yeah.
And you can't see, and there's things under there. I'm talking about in real life, yeah.
Yeah.
There's things we don't know that live in the places where we can't go.
Right.
And I didn't mean for that to rhyme. But Subnautica is the same thing. You're basically at a water planet or a water world, if you will. Fortunately, there is no smokers around, so I don't have to worry about them. It's just about survival. So it's get food, get materials, build your equipment, get diving. You've got a diving suit, but you can improve it. You can get radiation shielding. This big giant spaceship you were on that has crashed into this planet is this giant thing on the horizon, which looks amazing. And then the nuclear engines went critical while I was in the middle of exploring.
Great.
So there was a giant explosion and stuff like that. And then it's very rote at this point. Like what type of game? Like as soon as I say survival, you know what to expect.
Yeah.
You find resources. The biggest difference here is it has the oxygen limitation because you're diving a lot. So oxygen is essentially your stamina. The best thing about it is it's got underwater vehicles and stuff like that.
Ooh.
So right before I stopped playing it, I got one of those drag me along motor things where you just hold it with two hands. And
that's cool.
It's really cool looking, and it does like a 3D visualization map on top of it as well, which is amazing. And then I saw a giant thing swimming underwater that was like making noises when it was near me. And turns out it was friendly because I could take stuff from its back and it wouldn't attack me. But it's still terrifying when there's something that's 17,000 times your size.
Yeah.
It's so good, and I love it. It's hard. Like, I'm a sucker for this. Like, my two top game types are probably survival games and roguelikes. They're my two top game types, period. And Subnautica does that extra little tickle for me of kind of being a horror game for me personally as well, because as soon as I go underwater, I'm terrified of everything I'm going to find.
Right.
Like the giant thing with the glowy butt that just keeps spitting things at me. I don't know. I like Subnautica a lot. A lot. And I'll be honest, I'm very much looking forward to getting a lot deeper into it. Because the time I played it on the actual stream, I adored playing it. To the point where I started it and thought, I'll play this for an hour. That's my scheduled time for Subnautica, is I'll play it for an hour. And 3 hours later, I stopped.
Well, especially with survival games, it's like, all right, I just have one more thing to do. I just need to go down once more, and then, I have 3 more things to do. Okay.
Yep. Just one more thing. Just one more thing. I can craft that face mask before I go. Before I go, I should make sure I've got enough clean water to survive, which means I need salt.
Yeah.
Bloody salt.
Stupid friggin' salt.
Always the salt. I hate salt. It's ocean.
Salt everywhere. Scoop it up.
It might not have salt everywhere because it's a foreign planet ocean, but you know. Yes, salt. And that's all I've been playing this week.
All right, I got into the Anthem closed alpha, which I was hoping I could talk about it, but the NDA is so aggressive. That's all I can say, is that I have it. The thing that I was really excited to potentially talk about, and I'm bummed that I can't, is I'm obviously a huge fan of the Destiny games, and Anthem from the outside seems very much like a direct competitor to Destiny, with the bonuses of BioWare made it.
Yeah, I mean, they pushed it as that.
Yeah,
that's how they are advertising this thing.
It's this like open world, cooperative loot shooter, and I was excited to talk about those comparisons and contrasts, and I can't. So, sorry. I don't know when the NDA will lift. I don't know when a closed beta will be or whatever, but whenever I can talk about it, I will, even if it's the game is out now. And we're playing Anthem. Hades. Super giant of Transistor and Bastion fame is making a roguelike.
Yeah, you tweeted this at me, and then I saw you mention that it was a roguelike, and I literally ignored that tweet because I don't need to be reading that right now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I bought it very quickly. It's on the Epic Games store.
Of course.
It is only $20. It is in early access. A cool part about that is on the main menu, the main character is in the bottom right-hand corner and says, it's only X days until the next major update. And right now it's like 38 days. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's a big patch notes button. It's like play, settings, and patch notes. Open up patch notes. It opens up the patch notes in the game itself. It doesn't like open up Chrome or anything. Really great.
Yes.
Worked with my PS4 controller out of the box. Even better. This game is really good, and I stayed up too late last night playing it. I had to like tear myself away from just doing one more run.
Don't say that.
I think the thing that is concerning to me in the really positive way is it's early. Not a lot of enemy types. There's not a lot of unlockable weapons or stuff. That's fine. It's early access. It feels really good.
Come on.
There's something about, Bastion felt okay. Transistor felt a little bit better, but there's a dash move, like a shoot gun action, and like a normal attack and a heavy attack. The dashing to slash an enemy and like dashing and slashing around it feels really good. Like it's one of those things where you pick it up and you play around with it a little bit on your first run. Like the first run is sort of doomed to fail.
Yes.
And after fighting a couple enemies, it's sort of like, oh, okay, I already feel cool doing this dashing and slashing and moving around. And you can sort of see on the horizon, it's like, in a couple of months, you're really good at Hades, and it feels even better, and you're doing some sort of crazy combos. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. And combining that with Supergiant's great music, the great narration and voice acting, which is incredible.
Yep.
The graphical style, which is somehow better than Transistor was. And it's a game that knows it's a roguelike. So when you die, it puts a message on the screen where it's like, this isn't the end or something like that. And basically your character sinks into a pool of blood. And it loads the next screen, which is you climbing out of the pool of blood. And the first line he says, when it comes up, he goes, well, time to get killed again. Like it's just like, time to go to the salt mines. Like, and you talk to Cerberus, and you talk to Hades, you go to your room to level up, which is really great. And then you like go through this doorway and you're in the dungeon. And I already see the promise of it, which I think is way more than you get with a lot of roguelikes. It's sort of like, is
this kind of like the way Dead Cells launched, where like they were like, oh, it's out on early access on Steam, and everyone was like, yo, this is finished, right?
Yeah, like 1.0, like it's good. Yeah, it feels very much like I picked up a key on my third or fourth run. I was like, I don't know what this opens. I don't know. And it's that thing where it's like, you finish a room, and it shows like 2 or 3 doors, and they have symbols on them, which is very clearly like the rewards you're going to get by going through that door. I don't know what the symbols are yet. That's exciting. But like, I got a key. I was like, I don't know what this is. That's weird. So I finish my run, and I go back to my room. You go through the next door, and there's a bunch of weapons lined up that are all locked. And it said, hey, use your key to unlock a new weapon. It's like, oh, okay. I gotcha. Okay, this one needs 1, 3, 5, and there's probably more in the future. So I unlock the first one, which was a bow. What I didn't realize is it replaced my sword. So you're only taking that weapon in, and a little training dummy pops up who's like this invincible skeleton who has a really great accent. And it shows it gives you a quick little tutorial, and it's like, okay, like you got a new weapon. Do you want to have a sword? Do you want to have a bow? Look at these crazy things that are going to unlock. So I'm already, it's pulling me in, and that's dangerous. So
that's really bad.
I knew as soon as I saw it on the Game Awards, it's like Supergiant, and as soon as I saw him die and then come back, I was like, ah, crap. I know it's a roguelike. I know I'm going to get it. I'm screwed. So Yeah, I'm going to be playing that a little bit as I can. I wish it was on console so I could play it more during the day, but I'm only going to be able to like sneak some playthroughs here, you know, at night. Like,
yeah.
Secret playthroughs. But so far, really good. I hope they stick with it, and I hope they... I mean, it seems like Supergiant would be one of those developers that would genuinely stick with it, because I feel like they have such a pride in the game that they're putting out. So it's not going to be like they give one patch in a month, and they're like, I'm so bored of it, see you later. So,
yeah. They usually put, like, their games are generally speaking so polished.
Yeah.
So well finished.
Yeah. Next game is Omensight. This is the second game from Spearhead Studios, who made Stories Path of Destinies I really loved on PS4. Emailed me a couple days ago and said, hey, do you want a key? And I said, yes, I would. So, full disclosure, key was provided by the developer, Spearhead Games. All they wanted me to mention was that the game comes out on Switch on the 13th this week, but you can pre-purchase it now. So it's on PS4, Xbox One. It's coming out on Switch this week. It starts off... I knew very little about this game purposely because I knew I was already going to buy it at some point. It starts off as a fairly straightforward hack and slash like Stories did, which is good because I feel like even in their first game, they really nailed the... I don't want to say it's like the Arkham series, but because it feels a little bit more deliberate. It feels... there's just something about it that feels really good.
Yeah.
But they... On top of that, they put a time travel murder mystery.
Okay, so wheelhouse number 1, check. Wheelhouse number 2, 3, and 4, check, check, check.
Right. So basically, you get through the tutorial level, and these two characters you run into die. There's all this lore at the beginning I won't go to about these two like warring nations of animals, basically. And this priestess gets killed, no one knows who, and you go through the level, and these two main characters, basically one from each side, die in front of you. And you basically reach out and you like pull their souls out. And I was like, well, that's interesting. I don't know why that would be a thing that's happening. So you get through the end of the first level, the tutorial level, and the world ends. Basically, like, this giant world serpent comes and eats the world and everybody dies. So you get pulled into this between realms area where you can level up and you can talk to this other character. But most importantly, you can dive into the last day of the person whose soul you pulled out.
Oh.
So basically, you're diving into that person's last day and trying to massage the storyline so that, number one, they don't die, and number two, you figure out how to prevent the end of the world and try and figure out who killed this priestess that's really directly linked in this.
Oh, that's problematic.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked Stories because I liked how they took that sort of idea where you're going through a playthrough and you're branching off and seeing almost like visual novel decision tree style where you're sort of figuring out how to get your best playthrough. But now being able to take this murder mystery and time travel thing where you're sort of pulling this person back through and reliving their stuff and directing that feels really great. So I'm really looking forward to playing more of this because, like you said, this checks a whole lot of boxes. And I feel like after Stories was good and so far Omensight is good, Spearhead Games is one of those studios where it's like, all right, you release something, all right, come, just get in the cart, like just whatever it is, just $20 hop in the car, let's go.
Yeah, it's Remedy Games for us.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I finished Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So I have completed the main storyline.
Yes, the mercenary slash.
Yes, well, the main storyline. I'm now also the top mercenary.
Yep.
I have like 4 or 5 of the Calls of Cosmos to go. There's like one ship battle. I just I don't want to do because they're always too tough. I just have to go do it.
Is it the Hydra?
I don't remember what his name is. The thing is, I haven't been upgrading my ship because I was trying to get to the point where you get to like whatever tier it is for the mercenaries. It's like now it's 50% off. I'm trying to get to there, and now that I still haven't upgraded it, so need to go do that. I finished the pyramid quest. Wink.
Yep. Which I do feel like it's necessary to keep that bit at least a little bit.
Yes, because the implications for Assassin's Creed as a whole is maybe huge. Yep. So very much why we're going to do a spoiler cast, so we can talk about that whole can of worms. I have so many notes here. I loved the part that you're talking about, the jumping the shark. Wait. Did you just say you loved it? Loved it.
I can no longer speak to you as a human being, Boston. The
reason why I love it is it's Assassin's Creed dumb. It's the dumbest thing you could have possibly done. There's like 3 stupid things. Like 3 of the dumbest things you can put all in one. And I think had it just been one of those, like the location or the person or something, I would have been like, this is not great. Like tripling down on the stupid? All right.
Double down, yes. Triple down, no.
Yeah, like, it's something else. I think, to me, I don't think it's the jumping the shark moment, because I think the true ending of the game, the pyramid thing, is not crazier. It's crazy, because it's Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
But I think it's so much better, and I think it's so much more impactful that...
We are talking about the suit moment.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad that you got that reference.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, yes. Yeah. I don't want to talk too much about more of that, because we'll talk about it in the spoiler cast, and there's 50 hours other stuff to talk about in Assassin's Creed. I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey is probably my favorite Assassin's Creed game now. I think that beats 2 and Black Flag and Origins and all that. I think, and not just because it's the most recent, I think it's the best Assassin's Creed game. A lot of people would be like, yeah, but it's still Assassin's Creed. Yeah, it is, then don't play it. Well, you already, there's been 200 games, you know if you like them. It's like Final Fantasy. You know if you like a JRPG or not. Don't complain to me if you buy one and you don't like RPGs. It's too big.
Yep.
In every way, it's too big.
I think Origins ekes out my favorite Assassin's Creed game for that reason.
Yeah. Zachary T says, Boston says every new Assassin's Creed is his favorite. They're all my favorite, except for 3.
Yes.
The map is too big. There are too many main quests. There are certainly too many side quests. I think one of my bigger problems with the quests, main quests actually, is like, thanks so much for saving us. Here's 2 other people you can help. Okay, cool. I'll talk to one of them.
I love the fact that you text me, like, because we were talking about the discussions about the jumping the shark moment.
Yeah.
And you text me, it was like, literally, I'm in this never-ending chapter 7. And I was like, yep.
Yeah, because, like, you help one of those 2 people, they're like, oh, thank goodness you're here, Mythios. Can you help these 4 other people along with me? It's like, no, I've got stuff. I have assassin stuff to do, man. Like, I can't help you find a ram.
Yeah, it's like, you help the leader of the Ladies of the Night.
Yep.
But in order to get the information you need from the leader of the Ladies of the Night, you need to help 4 of her Ladies of the Night.
Right.
And it's like, I did your thing. You tell me what I need to know. I don't care about your 4 underlings.
Tell me about the cult. And one of my biggest problems too is Chapter 7 is hilarious. It's so long. It is insufferably long. Chapters 8 and 9, half an hour
4
each.
missions. Yeah.
Like, it's just like, and it's like, that's fine, because I was really ready to get my ending, which I'm very happy with. I got the happiest ending, to be clear with, and I'm very happy with it.
Interesting.
I'm a sucker for a happy ending.
So me too. And I know two people who got that ending and were not happy.
I think one of my additional problems with Odyssey is, especially in the latter half of the game, there's so many cutscenes where you're kind of waiting for something to happen, and a couple people talk, and then someone's like, yeah, you know what, Cassandra, you're right. And then, like, something big happens immediately, and you're like, wait. And then, like, it cuts to a loading screen, and you're somewhere else. It's like, wait, no, that was a big thing that just happened. Like, there should have been more lead up to it and, like, more wind down from it to deal with something that's so huge in whatever storyline you're pursuing at the moment. So many of them, I feel like the ending that I got tries to wrap up so many of those threads that you're pulling on through the entire 40 to 60 hours. And it never gets them like all the way there. Like, you get so close, and they make the motions to give you that ending, and it doesn't have the emotional punch that you really want. And I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey would be a really great game about with a story about family that has been incredibly overshadowed by God of War's story. And God of War tells, like you said, God of War has a better story for a lot of that stuff. And to me, probably unfairly, Odyssey tells a really great story about family, and then you look at God of War and you're like, that's an incredible story about family. So
yeah. See, for me, it was... See, I don't know. I can't really get into it without doing the whole spoiler casting.
Sure.
I think my ending was better because while my ending was about family, like the whole story is about family.
Yeah.
My ending was about some things being irredeemable.
Sure, like you can't
scrub off.
You can't save everybody.
People. Yeah, and you can't scrub thousands of lives off your ledger.
Right.
And pretend that they never happened.
Yeah. I think that's fair. And I think that's one of the failings of the good ending, is sort of like, to me, there's a question lingering at the end of Assassin's Creed Origins, which is sort of like, what now? Like, how does this tie into, as the earliest game in the franchise, how does this tie into the larger lore, which you and I only care about? But, you know, it's one of the few Assassin's Creed games that really doesn't interest itself with the not modern day but past struggle of the Assassins and the Templars. It doesn't really care. It's a story about family.
Yeah, it doesn't because of things that happen.
There's some very like true ending stuff that very clearly has larger implications, but I think it's an interesting change for the series that it's not like, I'm an assassin or I'm a Templar and I'm fighting against the other guys and I'm good and they're bad. You know, it's very much like, I want to put my family back together. Like, this is a story that I, as Cassandra, really care about. I think it's a nice change. And I think I don't want to talk too much about it because we'll talk about Spoilercast. They did just patch in mastery levels. I think that's a really interesting system because before it would have just been like, you got another skill point, spend it on the tree for some skill you're never going to use because I have the skills I'm going to use. Like, I'm running a poison build that is stupid strong.
I run a fire build with a whole bunch of stealth upgrades.
Oh, man, yeah.
So the only reason I run the fire build, to be honest, is so I can set stuff on fire from miles away.
Oh, nice.
With a bow and arrow.
But the crazy thing about the poison build is not only you're poisoning enemies, but once they have the full poison bar, I take down their armor and their health by like 50%. So there were a bunch of the... I'm going to talk about I won't spoil who it is. The very last mercenary, the one at the top of the mountain.
Yep.
Stabbed that person in the back with an assassination. Did the overpower move with my daggers, and they were dead. 2 taps.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
to the point near the end of the game where if I was critical assassinating somebody, they'd have a sliver left,
Right.
and then I could just stab them a couple of times, or I could do a normal assassination, and then I can't remember what it's called, like the hero strike or whatever, which is it's the one where you sweep the leg out and then stab them with the spear.
Right.
Which it does. It's a combat-based move that does assassination damage.
Yeah, so good.
So I was doing like 20 to 40k damage
Right.
with a combat-based move, which you're
Right.
not gonna get from anything other than that move.
Yeah, and I think because I have such a solid build now, like all my equipment complements it and all my engravings complement it. I like the idea of this mastery level where I can say, all right, I want 5% more damage into bow attacks. I want 10% more damage against animals. And I can specify that stuff now and dump my points into that as opposed to anything else. I want to talk more about Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but I can't. I just want to say I really, really love it.
Yep.
It's really great. But it's not going to change your mind if you don't like the Assassin's Creed games. I'd try playing Origins. I think that's a tighter game overall. And if you like that, keep going forward. Just don't go back to the old ones. And last but not least, Destiny 2, oh boy. So the first...
So anytime you say Destiny 2, oh boy, so sweet.
It's hard to have the language for this. So the beginning of the annual pass has started, and Bungie has been really clear saying that Black Armory is not an expansion. Please don't think of it as an expansion. But we don't have a really better name for it. It's clearly not an expansion. So Bungie, along with everybody else that plays Destiny, has realized they're not good at these DLC expansion launches where they drop a 2-hour campaign for $20 and that's sort of it. And then there's a bunch of stuff to do afterwards.
Yeah, it's additional content, not an expansion pack.
Right. And I think Annual Pass is a really great name for it because what they're doing is over a season. So this is the season for Black Armory. Every week there's a new thing to do. So like when it came out, there's one of the forges available. So one of the new endgame activities, which we'll get to in a second. That Friday, a new raid launched, just super cool looking. Won't spoil any of it.
Was that the within 24 hours emblem that you shared on Twitter?
No, God, I wish I could get that.
No, you didn't have it. Somebody else had it. You retweeted them. Which was the triangles or diamonds with the rainbow background.
No, that was I do have that one. That one's super cool. I'm never unequipping that one. No, the 24-hour one. I don't remember what it looks like. There's a bug with it right now. So basically, anybody who finished in the first 24 hours didn't get the emblem, which is a real bummer. But basically, they've laid out their schedule for this season, where like next week is the winter event. So everybody that owns Destiny 2, even if you don't own Forsaken or anything, you can get that. And then over the next couple of weeks, there's an exotic quest, new forges, new stuff like that. So it's this extended release cycle as opposed to, here's a 2-hour campaign. Whoops, you're already done with it.
Yeah.
Which I like conceptually. I think that's great because I can play a little bit every week, have new stuff to do, and like keep working my way through instead of you got to finish it as fast as you can so you get up to light level and etc.
Gives you a reason to come back.
Yeah, and it gives me a reason to play a little bit every week as opposed to pushing immediately and then getting burnt out. The problem, the previous maximum light level was 600. It's now 650. I was at 600 before Black Armory launched. So you get this short little cutscene, you open up the Black Armory in the tower, you talk to this cool lady who hates you, which is great. She gives you a mission, and it's a lot of like, kill these dudes and collect this thing, and multi-kills with heavy weapons and stuff. Fine. 20 minutes. You then get the quest to go fire up the first forge. And she gives you a frame for a machine gun. She says, if you go do this, it'll give you a machine gun. It's like, great, I love machine guns. They're back, yay. The problem, though, that one started at 6:10 and finished at 6:30. It's now 6:05 and 6:25 because they pulled it down a little bit. So, to get your light level up,
okay,
you've got to go play the old content. Because that's where you get your powerful rewards from. So, within an hour, I'm back in the Dreaming City and playing Gambit and playing Strikes. So it's like, it's this thing where it's like, I get that it's an endgame activity, and I like that, and I know that the forges going forward will be even harder. But that excitement of, all right, new stuff, like, yeah, I get to do this first forge, to farm gear to get stronger to do future forges, was pushed off a little bit. And doing something that's 30 levels above where you're at is impossible. I got to 6:04 this week and went into the forge. And I was like, all right, if it starts at 6:05, I should be fine. I was wrong. I lost that for us. Flat out. So, thankfully, Bungie is looking to close that power gap quickly. They've already made one change.
It should not have happened in the first place.
100%. And I think that's where they dropped the ball in a big way, because that first forge should have started at 600. You even want to start at like 585 for someone who's not at 600. There's a massive power catch up to get to 600, which is really great. But I should be farming the new content to get stronger, to do further new content immediately.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
Yeah, a big misstep, and thankfully Bungie's like, they came out immediately and they're like, hi, we screwed up, we're working on it. Some stuff we can make changes very quickly. Some stuff we have to come out with a patch for. That's going to take a little bit more time. But we want you guys to play the content. We made a mistake.
So, out of every launch of every product, downloadable content, expansion pass, yearly pass, whatever, additional content, is there any that they have released that they have not had to apologize straight afterwards?
I think when you look at the majority of the downloadable content that has come out for Destiny 1 and 2 up until the annual pass, I think they've been fine. They've had problems, but most of them are, I wish there was more, or I wish there was more endgame, stuff like that, that it was more of a lack of content, or the content there was sort of like, that was fine. Like Curse of Osiris, okay, it's not the best thing, but sure. But I think there's a difference, and I'm not raiding, which would make this problem basically moot, because you go in the raid, you get a whole bunch of powerful gear, and you're fine. I think this is really the first time where the whole community has come together and said, look, I wanted to play this content day one, and I can't. That's a real problem. And I think I don't have a problem with playing the old content. I've happily been doing it all week, but like now that I've done my powerful gear milestones, I don't have anything else to do because I can't do the forge yet. So I sort of have to wait until Tuesday to do all that stuff again to try and eventually get to the forge. I think that to say that's a misstep is fair, but you're right. There should have been, if they were going to leave the light level where it was, where it's much higher than you could get up until that point, there needed to be a stopgap in between there, or a very clear, like, you're going to do this quest chain and it's going to get you a couple of big rewards to really kind of boost you to the point where you're going to start. There wasn't that stopgap there. And I think it's disappointing because I think the idea behind the expansion pass is really solid. We're going to have 3 seasons of this stuff where we're getting this weekly by weekly additional content. I think that's really great. This first step was just it's so misguided that so many people are like, well, now the annual pass is garbage. It's like, well,
no,
it can't be yet because we have like 1% of it. But the 1% we have is bad.
Yeah, it was a misstep on their part, and I don't want to be that guy.
Mm.
Can you spend real money to bump your light level up?
No, absolutely
to that point. Okay,
no, that's like the one thing. The Eververse has cosmetics. It's like ships and shaders and ghosts and stuff like that, and skins for weapons and stuff like that. But you can never spend real money. I think you can buy. I think something of light, mode of light maybe, that gets you from like level 1 to level 30, but that doesn't get your light level anywhere, and it locks you out of a bunch of content, so it's actually not really great. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I could be mad in a different way where it's like, spend $20 and you'll get the 615. You know, like, it's not even that. It's like, I have no avenue to close this gap other than play a little bit of the content I've been playing, you know, for the next couple of weeks. And I think there's this like ramp up of excitement where it's like, yeah, it's like, we're going to SeaWorld. Oh, it's closed. You know, it's like, we're there in the parking lot and SeaWorld's closed. It's like, oh, well, I guess I go back home where I live now. So I'm hoping they address it quickly. If not, I guess I will try to play it this week if I get good drops. So, but what I wanted to say is the launch of Black Armory has been poor. I really like the idea. I think the idea of the annual pass resolves those problems of like, cool, I binged on this content for 60 hours this first week. Now I'm out of content. You know, you're going to get it trickled. And I think that's cool, but
it's something we've talked about on a couple of episodes recently and upcoming. It's the Nintendo Switch lineup launch versus console launches in general.
Yep.
It's the same content or amount of content over a longer period of time is a more satisfying experience.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm hoping that once this dust settles and once Bungie figures out where they went wrong in their planning, because let's be honest, this was a problem that occurred a year ago when they were planning for this stuff. I hope they can resolve it quickly so we can just keep this ball rolling on this content. I'd hate to have it be, well, if you play Destiny 2, you know, unless you're a raider, you're kind of like 3 weeks behind all this content. Sorry. That's a bit of a bummer, but I don't know. We're heading into the end of the year, so I probably won't be talking about Destiny 2 too much unless they really pooch it next week. But that's all the games I'm playing, so let's take a break.
Yep.
Water. My throat is so bad.
Energy drink.
I wish I had drank my last one yesterday, and I'm really regretting it now.
I made a poor choice.
Yeah, what do you have?
Rockstar Ripped Red.
Oh,
it's like a juice version, which I don't have a problem with it, minus the fact that it's carbonated.
Oh no, that's no good. All right,
it tastes a bit like fruity Red Bull. It's weird.
Oh, interesting. All right, it's super late, so let's bang out the rest of this.
I
don't want to. We've been up here for 6 hours now.
Yep, I've watched the sun go down in your little window back there.
Yeah. All right, ready?
Yep.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of December 10th, 2018. Earth Defense Force 5 comes out on the PS4, and I think it comes out on other platforms in a couple of weeks. Interested to see if this is one of the good or bad ones. They're all bad, but...
if it's a good bad or a bad bad.
Exactly. Knights of Pen and Paper 2 comes out on the Switch. I had fun with this on iOS. It feels like this would be a pretty cool place to play it on Switch.
Yeah.
And last but certainly not least, we're waiting for
Game of the Year.
5 years. Below comes out on Xbox One and PC. It's on Game Pass this upcoming week. and I am super pumped because I finally get to play it. Cappy Games is putting out.
Oh wait, hold on, rewind a second. Did you say Game Pass?
I did say Game Pass.
Oh boy, I'm so glad I have Game Pass.
Yes, yeah. From what I understand, it's supposed to be on Game Pass if I remember correctly. All right, we've been recording for a while, so we're just sort of blow through a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, of course, it's the week for the whole bunch of news.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip questions here. Anyone who submitted questions, thank you. I'll save them for next week. I promise we'll get to them next week. My voice is going up. Yes. Game Awards 2018. I watched some of this. It is a conference that moves very fast, so I missed some stuff.
I literally watched a highlight reel of all the trailers.
Nice.
Which apparently wasn't even all the trailers. So.
Yeah, you missed Sonic Fox's great acceptance speech, though.
I need to go back and watch that because I've heard some good moments in it. His acceptance speech and the three big boys getting up on stage all at once.
That was a cool scene, yeah.
I need to see that.
I just love Sonic Fox. You know, he's a great guy. Stanley Parable is coming to consoles, which I think is really interesting and really great. There was a trailer. It was really great because like Jeff Keighley gets up there and he's like, "Look, I never thought we'd show this trailer. This is one of the biggest surprises of the show. Let's go." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay." It was like a PUBG map. Whoopity-doo. It comes up with Marvel, and I was like, "Oh cool, a Marvel game." It comes out with like Guardians of the Galaxy and everything. I'm like, okay. And very quickly it shows characters fighting with a ring underneath them. And I was like,
yep.
Is this Ultimate Alliance? Are you guys putting out another Ultimate? No, it can't be. So they announced Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, exclusively on Switch. And I was like, the what now?
Yep.
The who and what?
I think it's 8 years since the last Ultimate Alliance game. Wow.
Yeah.
And then it comes out exclusively on Switch.
This can't be a Switch exclusive. Like, to me, it seems so much like leaving money on the table.
I was actually speaking to my wife about this. It's like, on one side, I completely agree with you. This should come out on everything. 100%.
PC, Wii U, N-Gage, whatever.
It's a Diablo top-down isometric action game, which is best played with other people. Sure. And you can probably get away with playing it in a 2-button mode.
Yeah, it's a fairly straightforward, simplistic game.
So it might be one of those, you can put your Switch on the table and then play it with your friends around the same table. One of them gimmicks. Or I could play it on my Xbox One.
Yeah.
It would sit really nicely next to Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 on my installed games list. I
feel like this is one of those things where in 9 months, they'll be like, the wait is over. In 3 months, it's going to be coming to everything else. I was like, okay.
I hope so.
Yeah. But if not, okay. The only thing I can assume is that Nintendo bankrolled some of the development like they did with Bayonetta.
It could be that, or it could be a case of if you're going to appeal to the every John Q Street Fighter fan.
Right.
Switch is the place to do it.
Yep. Supergiant's Hades was announced. We talked about that at the top. Ubisoft announced Far Cry New Dawn.
I love your note in the show notes here. Just read that vertebra for me.
Okay, I'll read it. Takes place after Far Cry 5. I think the description for the game is a spoiler for the end of Far Cry 5.
100%.
Okay.
The trailer for this game is a spoiler for Far Cry 5.
So I got the ending of Far Cry 5 spoiled for me.
End of the trailer for this game is a spoiler for the end of Far Cry.
Okay, cool. 5. So it takes place 17 years after Far Cry 5. The thing that happened apparently at the climax of Far Cry 5. Which, I'm not, to be clear to anyone listening, I'm not mad, because I haven't played Far Cry 5 in the 18 months it's been out. 2018's been about 3 years long, so I'm not sure how long it's been out. So I'm not super mad. It was just sort of that, I read it, I was like, that sounds like I feel like if that happened at the start of the game, I would have seen, oh no, I bet that's the ending. Crap.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then the person in the shadows at the end of that trailer, that's the main bad guy from 5.
That's what I figured. I was like, I bet that's the main bad guy from 5. Crap. Okay. Well, that's fine. Anthem gets another trailer. Pretty cool looking trailer.
Really great trailer. And then announcement of the show for me personally.
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot came out in the Crash suit, which was really nice to see that back. And thank God they finally announced Crash Team Racing, the CTR remaster for June.
Yes.
Day one. Hands down.
One of the easiest and hardest racing games I've ever played. Like,
I love it so much.
So good, and there are some things in that drove me insane as a child. It'll be fun to see if I can go back to it.
Yeah. Dead by Daylight got an update trailer, which I just want to mention because I wasn't expecting a Dead by Daylight DLC trailer in the show, and that was really cool.
To be honest, I think they've done a good job of keeping that game in the forefront of everybody's minds.
Yep.
Look at Friday the 13th. Kickstarter success, yay, in everybody's mind. Didn't come out for a number of months.
Goodbye.
Came out, yay, in front of everybody's mind.
Right.
Vanished for a while. Legal issues, yay, everybody's mind. Dead by Daylight is like, okay, now we've got Michael. Now we've got Freddy. Right. Now we've got this DLC. Now we've got an original.
Got this cool trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's smart. The Last Campfire by Hello Games was announced. This is the No Man's Sky people are making this really cute looking adventure game.
Yeah.
I saw a quote snippet from Sean Murray saying, like, there's just two people at the studio that made this game while they were making the other stuff. It's like, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy, and that's great.
Yep.
So
it reminds me of Senua, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Small team decided it was a passion project for them. They went out and they nailed it, and then they did really well.
Yeah. I'm super excited for whatever that is. I'm also super excited for The Outer Worlds. This is Obsidian's new RPG made by the original creators of Fallout, the trailer says, which a lot of people think that's throwing some shade. A little bit, but it's also just factual. Like, hey, you liked Fallout 1 and 2, the Black Isle guys? This is their studio, whatever it's called. I don't remember. I think they should, if they're going to keep including that, they need to put from the original creators of Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, Fallout 1 and 2.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, and Fallout in big letters.
Published by the guys that made Fallout New Vegas. This looks really cool.
Let's just say I wasn't expecting it to be first person.
No, me neither.
Let's just say day one.
Yeah, to me it almost feels like... It feels a little bit like if they took New Vegas and Borderlands and smushed them together. That's sort of what that trailer looked like. Just, there's something about... It's not even like humor or shooting, it's just there's something about the aesthetics of it where I looked at it and I was like, okay, yeah, that's just... where can I pre-order? Let's do it.
Yep.
The Pathless is a new game announced by the Abzu team, which sort of all I needed to know.
Yep. I saw the trailer for it. It looked okay, interesting. It remained to see what it actually is. There was a lot of running.
BioWare showed off a new Dragon Age game teaser that I watched and didn't realize it was a Dragon Age teaser until I remembered it 2 hours later. And I was like, oh, right, the guy. Yeah, okay, the guy from Inquisitor. Yeah, gotcha. Right.
Yep. So I need to finish Dragon Age 2 and play Inquisition and get ready for the new Dragon Age game.
You do, yeah.
Okay.
Inquisition is only...
about 80 hours.
Yeah, but it's really good.
I know.
And then you need to play The Witcher 3.
And 2.
Yeah, mostly 3.
And Deus Ex.
Yeah, man, Deus Ex, yeah. Psychonauts 2 got a new, pretty great trailer, but there's no release date. What?
Yep.
Come on. They're like, for more information, go to our fig.co page. It's like, please. Is it coming out in 2019? Please. Just give me a year.
The answer is no.
Oh, God, why? Hey, at least ToeJam and Earl's coming out this year. 2019, I mean.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat 11 had a pretty cool trailer, and they're like, hey, it's coming out in April.
Yep. Good on them. Good on them for developing it, doing a bunch of work, and getting a trailer. Just about, it's the Bethesda thing. Trailer, within 6 months it's out. The thing I love. Great.
Yep. Rage 2 got another trailer coming out May 14th. For some reason, I thought that came out this year. So I saw May 14th. And I was like, oh, right. Okay. It's cool. Smart choice. Still not sure about Rage 2.
I'm so torn because it looks, more I see about it, the more it looks like the speed and pace of Doom, but with the stupidness of Borderlands.
Yep.
So I kind of might be in, but I kind of don't know.
But is it too dumb? Like, yeah.
It's very neon.
A new fighter was announced for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is Persona 5's Joker.
Which one is Joker?
The main character.
Okay.
Your guy.
Okay.
That's one of those things where it's like, cool, this is Persona 5 on the what now? Like, he holds up the card with the Smash logo on it. It's like, I'm sorry. The what? So
all they need now is Minecraft Steve, and they've got the whole thing again.
Yeah, they've got everybody. And then somebody from Fortnite. And you've got the whole thing going on. And last but not least, God of War won Game of the Year. I thought it was going to be Red Dead Redemption 2. That sort of scooped up a bunch of other categories, but...
Yep. I know Red Dead won Best World and like graphics or something like that.
Best audio design, something like that, yeah. I was really surprised that they were like, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, Celeste. And I was like, huh?
Yep.
Like, I love Celeste. Celeste is great, but usually it doesn't hang with God of War, and 2018's been a really great year.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah. So I liked the Game Awards. I think this year was a little bit better than last year. I think it was a lot tighter. Last year was maybe not great. But this year was pretty good, pretty snappy, showed a bunch of new stuff, and then just kind of got out of there. So 2 thumbs up.
Yay.
I like it. Next news story. Speaking of 2019, Sega has announced that Judgment, which used to be called Project Judge, the next game from the Yakuza team, is coming west in summer 2019. Strangely enough, they released an English voiceover trailer for this because it has English voiceover, and they came on Twitter really quickly to say, yo, it also has dual language and dual subs. So the subtitles will match either language. This looks really good, and Crispin Freeman is one of the 2 main characters, and that is really good.
Who's Crispin Freeman?
God, he's been in everything. Have you watched the original Hellsing anime?
Yes.
He was the Catholic guy. Like this almost little Scottish guy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Really good. It's one of those things where, like, I hadn't watched any of the trailers of this so far because I'm like, well, I'll wait until it gets announced over here. I won't get my hopes up. And I watched this trailer and I was like, oh no. It's like Private Eye Yakuza. Oh no.
Time for me to plow through 6 Yakuza games and then get ready for that.
7, by the way, because you got to count 0.
Shush.
Yeah. And last but not least, so Prey Moon Crash came out this year. But it also has additional content coming out over the next couple months. So if you own Prey Moon Crash, Typhon Hunter is coming out next week on the 11th.
Shush.
This is their 5v1 multiplayer thing, and my original thing was no thanks. But they drop 5 player-controlled mimics in a play space. And you get a little bit of time before Morgan drops in to go hide yourself in something, to mimic yourself as something, and try and take down Morgan before they take all 5 of you out. That sounds really good.
Yes, it does.
It's one of those things where it's like, I don't want multiplayer Prey. Ooh, now I want multiplayer Prey.
Yeah.
If you don't own Prey yet, there's like a digital deluxe edition where it's Prey and Typhon Hunter for $30, $40. It's a steal. Go play Prey, and then go find us online to play Typhon Hunter. That sounds pretty great. What also sounds really great is that's the end of this episode, so we can go rest our voices and ourselves. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. All the places to find and follow us on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M1 for all you patrons. Later this month will be a voting for ODNF.
Spoilers.
And go check it out. Check your Twitter feeds. all the exclusive stuff, early access, all that stuff. Go check it out. Game Club game pushed out a month. Iconoclast, we'll talk about that in January. We'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye. Questions next week as well, etc., etc. Everybody, you all understand. Okay. The show doesn't stop.
Hit me with
the show doesn't stop until I hit stop. I swear. I have to remind myself.
That on a pillow.
Yes. Okay. You were bitten.
What was that one?
You were bitten.
Oh, right.
Tim Burton's A Bug's Life. Slurping from coast to coast. Your best playthrough. Destiny 2. Oh boy. Literally, that's all I got. Like, my brain isn't working.
I have the Roguelike Squad. Archer Wayne, which is really good. Car Bump. Bill and Ted Say Hello.
I'm so proud of that dumb joke.
That's really good. For you to just crack that out was good. Stupid Blue Candle. Slurping from Coast to Coast. The Search for Salt. And You Were Bitten and Destiny 2. Oh boy.
I'm torn between. There's 3 there. Bill and Ted Say Hello.
Yep.
Slurping from Coast to Coast.
Yep.
And The Search for Salt. They're my top 3.
I like The Search for Salt a lot.
Me too.
I feel like you can make a good movie poster out of it.
Yeah, also the fact that you called it Subnautica : The Search for Salt, and it took me about 4 beats to figure out what you were talking about, even though I spent 2 hours screaming, where's my salt
Where's the salt? So good. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 581 for December 10th, 2018. The Search for Salt.
I need it for my water.
Thank you very much, everyone. We're done. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.